Okay, good morning, all of you. So we'll continue with the problems related to hydrostatic force and the torque. Then we'll go for pressure in accelerating fluids. Fine. No, I think already this I gave in assignment. So what is the force acting on the, find the ratio of hydrostatic force acting on the top and bottom of the sphere. There is a total, the sphere is totally immersed in liquid. It is immersed in liquid. We have to calculate for the ratio of the force exerted by the liquid on the top as well as the bottom. So what's the method now? So yesterday we had some discussion on these things, especially how to calculate the vertical force. So surrounding it, there'll be liquid. So what I do is like, shall we assume liquid is present everywhere? So I'm just assuming this part of the liquid. There's a layer like this here. Liquid is present, in fact. Coloring later on I'll do it because it'll take more time. Only the essential one, I'll just show you that one. So let me assume only this part of the liquid. And the liquid which is present below also will exert a force. So he's asking ratio of that. Altogether, the liquid which is present below will exert a force. Call F2. The liquid which is present above will exert a force. Call F1. And the resultant force F2 minus F1 should be equal to, let rho be the density of liquid. It will be like this. Let rho be the density of liquid. Here also liquid is present. All these are calculation based problems. What is the possibility of asking advanced exam? They prefer to ask problems on the bionts than on this one. Pressure in accelerating fluids definitely will be more important, but general idea of this is needed. That's why I'm just focusing on some numericals here. What is F2 minus F1? Yesterday I gave some very good explanation. This F2 minus F1 should be equal to net resultant force acting on a solid which is totally immersed in liquid. That should be equal to the density of liquid, volume immersed into G. Later on, we'll call it as upward thrust. What is the volume? Volume is total volume of sphere, 4 by 3 pi r cube into G. Can we calculate F1? Because find the ratio of hydrostatic force acting on the top and bottom of the sphere. I know F2 minus F1. So what I'll try to do is I'll calculate F1. I'll substitute here. Okay, next step we'll write it. Okay, let's get into the. Okay, this shall we how to, what is this F1? F1, shall we say weight of the liquid, blue color. The weight of that particular liquid is what? The total force exerted on it. So what is F1? F1 should be weight of liquid of how much? Volume V1. Of volume V1. VI is different. VI is volume immersed, total volume immersed, or I'll okay, it should be VI only. So it should be V1 only, this one. VI is volume immersed here. Weight of the liquid of volume V1. Can we calculate that volume V1? So we know this is height R. So how to calculate that density of liquid? So what is the density of liquid? Will be rho. Rho into pi. So what is the equation we'll get it, this one? So this will be surface area. It will become like a disk of radius R, disk of radius R and thickness R. So pi R square into R. minus. In that, shall we subtract hemisphere 2 by 3 pi r cube. How much it will come? 3, okay, pi r cube by 3 into g. Rho into pi r cube by 3 into g. This is F1. Okay, now I know F1. Can I bring F2? I'll use this formula. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So here afterwards, what is the force exerted by the liquid on the upper part of the body? That is equal to its weight. There I gave pressure into area. Nothing but pressure into area is nothing but the weight of the liquid above the rigid, above the body. Then, so what is the, I'll substitute this, put 2 in 1, we'll get F2. F2 minus rho pi r cube by g is equal to rho 4 by 3 pi r cube by g. So this will become rho 5 by 3 pi r cube by g. So we know F1, F2. So dividing these two, we'll get the ratio. 1 by 5.
Where the volume of cylinder that we assume will be pi r square into 2r, no sir?
R, only the liquid till blue color. Huh? And I'll do one thing. Is it okay? Fine. Still.
Yes, sir. That area, it will be like a cylinder minus the hemisphere, right?
No, cylinder is of height R only, no? Okay, this.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, yes, sir. I understood.
I think I can help you this much of diagram.
Yes, sir. I understood, sir.
Okay, ma. Yeah. Some problems are there with integration that we'll see on Friday because they're just pure math based, not important for any exam. We'll focus on math. So the one which we have to think logically, I just picked up. Huh? No. So the same idea. What is this? What is the force exerted by the liquid on the top of the body equal to weight of the liquid? Got this? Net force exerted by the liquid should be equal to density into volume immersed into G. Finish sure. I think you go to any problem, you can do it. Some problems where the body is oriented vertically. If body is not oriented vertically, we should go for integration. I shown yesterday some the wedge we did integrated, no? We did some integration and then we have shown that friction with friction we have discussed some problem. Now read this question. It's a light cone, so there's a cone. So only there is a liquid present inside it and also beside. This part is air. Okay, find rho 1 by rho 2. Here really you have to put effort here. I think this problem I gave that one. So student has to really focus on that one. So let's do one thing. So let's take the cone. Inside the cone, there's a liquid, no? So let me focus on the cone part first. So inside there's the liquid of density rho 1. So what the liquid will do? Will exert force. Will exert force. There's a one best problem I have picked up. What are these arrows? These arrows indicate the force exerted by the now why the arrows here? There's the force exerted by the liquid on the cone. And it will also exert force here. I think I have placed like this. I'll show it here. Look at the length of arrows. blue color and red color arrows are different. I think there's a one property of liquid. Pressure varies with the depth. On the base or depend, the pressure everywhere is same. So the liquid will exert a force like this here. Now, what are these red colors? Red color arrows are force exerted by the liquid on the slant face. What about the blue color arrows? Force exerted by liquid on the base. So this I will call slant face. This called like a bottom. In turn, what will happen? The cone will also exert equal and opposite force, and under action of that, what happen? The liquid is at rest. Am I right? So I'm thinking in other way now. So I've shown the force exerted by the liquid on the cone. So this is a light cone. Cone will not have any mass. Light cone is telling. So let's take the. You have to really dig a lot. Means you have to draw the diagrams, think on lights. So shall we take like this here? No. So in turn, the cone will. What is this? This is a liquid column. I think here this is the liquid. What I have is not a cone, liquid column it is now. Liquid filled up in a cone. On the liquid, how the forces will be acting? The forces acting will be these are time consuming problems. Little bit we have to. In turn, the bottom will also exert force. I think I do. And the weight of the liquid. I think I have what all everything I'm showing it. So this is the liquid Roman. What is the radius of this 2r? So these are the forces acting liquid column. What is the state of liquid column in equilibrium? What is this? Liquid column, not a cone. Cone with liquid I'm showing. There's only liquid column. Under action of all the forces, it's in equilibrium. So therefore net force on it should be 0. So the resultant force exerted by the cone on the liquid will be vertically down. By the cone, it's like a slant faces. If you look at the slant faces, the net force exerted by slant faces on the liquid column will be vertically down. The force exerted by the base on the liquid column will be vertically up. I think these are the two important statements I am uttering. Please, the net force exerted by the slant face on the liquid column will be vertically down. The net force exerted by the base on the liquid column will be vertically up under action of the weight of the liquid and force on the slant face and also on the bottom. And the direction of all this, it will be in equilibrium. Net force along x-axis should be 0. Along y-axis also should be 0. We'll equate along y-axis here. Got the idea? So I think this, if you can think this much, you can do something you can do in the problem. Otherwise, not possible. Okay, now let's get into this one. So on the liquid column, I'll write it by cone on liquid. What is this? By cone on liquid. Equilibrium of liquid column. At equilibrium of liquid column. So what are the forces that are acting? So this will exert a force P1 into A, and the net force exerted by that, let me call that as F1, and will be directed vertically down. Who is that? Force exerted by the cone on the liquid column. So what are the forces? I'll write it here. P1A minus weight of the liquid minus F1Y equal to 0. P1A, what is the pressure at a depth 2h? How much it should be? Rho 1 G 2h. What is the area? Pi r square. Minus weight of the liquid column. Total weight, what is the weight of the cone? Weight of this, so this should be equal to 1 by 3 pi r square 2h into G. Volume of the liquid in the cone. That's what the weight of the liquid. Minus F1y equal to 0. Density is missing. Density, I'll write it here. Rho 1. Okay, look at this. All the simplification. 2, 3, how much we'll get it? 4/3 F1y. So this should be equal to 4/3 pi rho 1 h cube. What h cube? No, not h cube. It is r square. Check calculation. Where r equal to h. Later on I'll substitute. Where r equal to h. Where r is equal to h. Okay, this I think. Okay, fine. So this will become h cube. It will become rho 1 h cube by g. Okay, this is what is F1y you should call? Net force exerted by the cone on the liquid column along y-axis here. So what is this F1y you should write? Net force exerted by cone, not force, vertical force. 5/3 you'll get it. Check calculation. I think 2, 2, 3, 3, 2 just 6, 6, 5/3. Yeah.
Sir, we get 4/3 only, sir.
4/3 only. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
4/3 only. Okay. So what I should call this F1y? By the slant face, no force exerted by the slant face of the cone on the liquid, not net force. I think we should not go for this one. Or total resultant, it should be.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you explain the calculation, sir? I'm getting another answer.
H equal to r power radius. Radius is r and it is 2h. Finish work. Force exerted by the cone on the liquid. So now what is this? This in equilibrium, no? So in equilibrium, what all the forces that will be acting? The liquid will exert a force. I'll come back to the first diagram. The liquid which is inside the cone will exert a force, and that is what F1. And that F1 we are calculating. And how it will be F1y up vertically up. I think directly I'll come to the problem. So this will be F1y. The liquid inside will exert a force on the cone. Okay, that is F1y. Clear this? This is the resultant. Then the liquid which is there outside will exert a force. The liquid which is there outside will exert a force. That will call F2 here. I think I'll have to show it F2. F1y is what I calculated. Force exerted by the liquid on the liquid inside on the cone. Now similarly we'll calculate F2y. How to calculate F2y? Again I'll go for the previous particular thing. Here I think just make observation. I'll finish off this problem now. Now come for this one. So there's a liquid 2. Now this part is what? The IT is how much? This will be H. And this is R. This is R. And this is H. This liquid which is there will exert a force, no? here. Those who are able to understand this, it's a very simple. Huh? The idea is what you have to grasp it here. A net force exerted by the liquid which is there outside density rho 2 will exert a force, and how it will be directed downward. So shall I put everything here, F2y, that I'm showing at only one place here. How to calculate this F2y? Weight of that liquid, how to calculate the weight of the liquid? Pi r square, so this is h. Only, I think, okay, I think I have to take it only till here, no? It should be, the forces still be like this and all. Okay, no. This part is what? Its weight is what you have to find out. Just no previous problem, what I did, the same analogy I'm using. That's why I just picked up two problems here. The weight of this blue color liquid, which is there outside the cone, that is what you have to take that one. How to calculate that particular volume? So shall I go for like this? So what is the, it will become like a cylindrical disc of height h and radius h. Okay, no. No, I think it's pure geometry, yeah? Nothing to do. I give this concepts. How to find out that one? Total volume will calculate. So only thing is pi r square h, the weight of that particular thing. Pi r square h in that F2 is equal to pi r square h. Later on h I'll write equal to r only. Rho into pi r square h g. Rho g I think I'll bring outside. Pi r square h. Then how to bring this particular volume in the total volume of bigger volume? Shall we remove this smaller part of volume, the shaded volume? Vishwas, switch off video. Vishwas, switch off your video. Yeah. So now in the bigger volume, 1 by 3 pi r square 2h. In that you subtract another smaller volume, smaller cone. Solve this, you'll get the weight of the, what is this F2? Weight of the blue color liquid lying beside cone. Anybody simplify and just tell it. So,
2 by 3
sorry.
pi r square
So,
h.
wait. This should be r by 2. R by 2, R by 2. Radius of this will be R by 2. What is this? I will do one thing. I will shade this much of volume. I should subtract in the bigger cone. No? I don't have much explanation, everything based on the diagram, because I can't do anything else. And what is this? This is a bigger cone like this. Fine. And this particular pi r square h is this particular thing, blue color one. Anybody value?
7 pi r square h by 12 into rho g.
7 will come. Check it once. 7 will not be there.
Sir, 5 by 12, sir. 5 by 12 pi r
Sir,
square.
5 by 12. Sir.
Pi r square h rho g, where h is equal to r. So 5 by 12 pi h cube rho g. Okay, this is f2y, which the ratio of this is what is asking. Okay, I think I'm giving some diagrams all. Just make observation. I'll go for the next one. So it's asking the ratio of this one. No? So either f1 by f2y. Do this. Now, what is f1 by f2y? Should be equal, no? It's in equilibrium. I think, let me wind up the problem. Some are asking, sir, how answer will come. At equilibrium, of cone f1y is equal to f2y. Equate these two, you'll get the density. What are the densities? Rho 2. Symbols is a problem. So many are there. Yeah. Try to see all this. So we'll get a ratio of rho 1 by rho 2. I'll write answer. Check it later on. You have to verify the calculation part. I'll move to the next one. So this is, we can do by integration. I'm trying to avoid. Later on Friday, we'll focus on how to integrate things. One problem I have with integration we can solve. Today I'll show it. Now, another, this is like what is written by a curved gate AB. Which is a quarter of a cylinder. Assume that the gate is 4 meter wide. The diagram will make first. I'll try to show the. This will be that cylinder. What is saying? Quarter cylinder. Okay, this should not be there. Yeah. Try to see this. Inside everywhere on the left side there will be liquid. Is asking what is the computer horizontal and vertical components of resultant of hydro pressure distribution on the gate AB. There's a gate. So what is the gate? Gate is this particular thing. AB. Only the quarter cylinder it will come. I think you take rectangular box, and if the curved edges are there, is asking only on that rectangular part. Fine. Okay, getting problem. What is the vertical part, horizontal part? How to determine? The vertical part should be equal to weight of the liquid column. The vertical part should be equal to the weight of the liquid column. So till here is what? This much of weight will be acting. The weight of all this is what? The weight of the liquid column, this will become. So this will be 10 meter. Okay, this will be 3 meter. This is 3 meter. So can you calculate this weight? You are seeing plane diagram. So he has given this 4 meter wide. The 4 meter wide is this one. So how it will be? I think from till here, it will be a rectangle. So shall we have one rectangular box? This is a rectangular box. And afterward, open quarter cylinder. Is it my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
have I don't have options with mobile data I'm running. I think maybe you have to check from your side. Huh? Okay, no. So this what is the y component of the force? Weight of the liquid.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, it will be 12 meters, sir. 0, 10.
12 meter. Huh? Yeah. Till here I have to show it. Huh? Yeah, fine. So what is the weight of the what is y component of force acting on the gate? Weight of the liquid column. So what is the weight? Rectangular. First we'll break up this density of water into G. Density rho G into 4 into 3 into 12 plus quarter cylinder. Quarter cylinder will be pi r square. This you can call it as L. Fine. R is what is L? L is equal to 4 meter. R equal to 3 meter. Substitute, you'll get the vertical component. Weight of the liquid column above the gate. Only this one, not this whole liquid. Huh? Why this liquid exert force here? So the liquid which is present in this region will exert force on the gate. There is a y comp. But sir, here it's a curved is there. Yes, I'm going to resolve how the force exerted by the liquid on the gate. So here in the diagram, I'll show it. It will be like this. It should be normal. Everywhere it should be normal. One diagram, I'll show it. Okay, this one, yeah. Resultant force. Some rough diagram. Need not to, they should be perpendicular to the surface. So this is what happens here. Y component I found out. What about the x component? How to calculate the x component of the force? Here is what the trouble will start for you.
Sir,
So, yeah.
sir, it is 1 by 3 pi r square L, no, sir. 1 by 4.
Quarter circle, no? For that, write it. Quarter circle. Yeah, okay, then. Yeah. And now, what about the x component of the force? So we should go for the projection. So actually, if you project it, if you project the vertical surface, till here, it is 12 meter. No, this is 3 meter. Let me assume a strip. Now this at a distance y, this is dy, let the force be dF here. So there's a horizontal force. So dFx is equal to pressure into dA. What is the pressure at a depth? Rho gy into, this will be L into dy. So rho gl y into dy. Where the cylindrical gate, 12 to 50 meter. So put that 12 to 15. Density rho L, we know it. Substituting that, we'll get the required horizontal force. Okay, now I think you have some very big trouble. All of a sudden, I'm saying some other thing, no? Here. If you want to calculate horizontal force, just you project the area, that one. So there's a area. So, sir, what you are doing, why 3 meter? It is actually a curved one. So you have to just treat it like a flat surface. I'm just how I am treating. How upper one is there, the lower one also I'm just treating like a flat surface. Then what should be the area of that? L into 3. You can see that one, L into 3. So this part is what a gate. This part is what a gate. The gate is what projected here. The gate is what projected. So what is the reason? I think the yesterday's I gave one. Half of the cylinder. So what force acting on the curved surface? Nothing but is equal to the net force acting on the flat face. That's what we are showing it here. So like that, I think if you calculate, you'll get y component, this x component. I think you have to do calculation, 250 into 10 to the power of 4 Newton, 8 pi into 10 to the power of 4 Newton. So if you take the component of this is the force acting on the gate. So the gate, there's a projected area. Projected gate area. So y component is very easy, the total weight of the liquid that is acting. I'll take the next problem. Shall I scroll down? Okay, so similar explanation. I'm going to bring it here. What should be the level of liquid on the left-hand side so that it will be in equilibrium? It's a heavy is telling. It's telling it's a cylinder. Just now I discussed the projection. That projection is what I'm trying to explain here. Okay, get into the problem. Basically, it's a cylinder, so that you should not forget. I'll take the same diagram. No, get into, you can see here, no? There's a liquid. That projection is what I'm trying to explain using this question. Please understand, it'll be very easy for you. You need to go take help of mathematics. The main purpose of all the numerical discussion is Very rare you will go for method. Most of the cases logically will try to analyze here. So the liquid which is present on the left hand side will exert a force, and it's a cylinder. Huh? It's a cylinder. Figures show the heavy cylinder of radius resting on a smooth surface separates two liquids of density 2 rho. The height h for the equilibrium of cylinder must be. Heavy is telling, okay, let's not bother. Like the cylinder will not move, and the net force on it along x-axis must be 0 for equilibrium. So the force acting, how the forces they'll be acting on the cylinder. We'll go for the forces. We'll try to see that the forces will be acting. It should exert normally. This liquid will exert a force like this. And the net force should be 0. What is the height h rho? What is the projected area? Tell me, like, what is the projected area I should take it? The length of cylinder, let it be L. And the radius is 2 and the diameter is 2r. On this side, there's a liquid. I think I can't. I think if I show like this also will be wrong. Okay, I have only this much to display. The rest all everything you're supposed to imagine. Liquid is present everywhere. Hmm, 3D diagram not possible, no? So there's the only possible thing. No. That's what is the projected area? H into L. On the left hand side, what is the density? 2 rho into. So I'm going to assume a strip. I'm going to assume a strip. So this force exerted by this should be equal to pressure into PL into dA. What is the PL? 2 rho, density 2 rho G into Y. What is this dA? dA should be equal to L into dy. What is L? L is this particular thing, width. Okay, this should be equal to no 2 rho G L Y dy. What should be this limit? Should be 0 to h. Rho G L. No, similarly come for the force on the right hand side of the liquid. So this is dFr. What is the density of liquid? 3 rho. So pressure PR into dA. 3 rho Gy L into dy. 3 rho G L Y into dy. So what should be the height? 0 to r. Equating these two, the net force on the cylinder should be 0. So Fr equal to FL is equal to Fr. So rho G L H square 3 rho G L R square by 2. So what is H? H is equal to R into root 3 by 2. Now what is the projection? So something, this numerical, I feel very important one. What is the projection here? The cylinder, what happened for the liquid, what happened, though the cylinder is a curved surface, it will appear like a flat. That's all finished. The projected area, you have to take it. Full cylinder, how much it would have been? It would have been a rectangular sheet of length L and the height 2r. If it were full cylinder, you see the right hand side of liquid, what it will see? It will see a projected area of length L and height r. So this is like this. Whereas this it will see projected area, length and h. The effective area is what you have to go for it. But sir, it's a curved one. It's the resultant force will be the effective area. Any reason for that? Yesterday I gave one half of the cylinder immersed in a liquid. Okay, few. So these are just some very small ideas that will really helps you a lot in most of the numericals. One more last thing, we'll wind up this topic, then I'll go for exciting fluids. One more, I think I gave one question. I think I didn't have. I'll draw it. This again very, very important. This is a gate. So the gate is, and the total, this is 4R. Yesterday's assignment only I just picked up. So there's everywhere liquid is present. I'll do one thing, we'll make it small. Okay, no. Yesterday's assignment, if you have, you just recollect it. From yesterday's assignment, I'm bringing this question. So it's asking now, if the length of the cylinder is L, the length of cylinder is L, then it's asking find the horizontal force on the gate. It's a gate actually, so we can open it. If you have yesterday's assignment, please recollect. Why it is not coming? Yeah, leave it. There's a gate. It can be opened here. I can open it and the water starts flowing. So it will be injured here like this. So it is mounted about, pivoted about O. So still, I think some of you are not understanding what is the meaning of this. I don't have a better diagram than this. Please understand. So here is what you have a liquid. Please ask, don't ask many questions. I don't have, because there's a 3D diagram, you're supposed to assume like this here. Okay, fine. So there's a one diagram is what I'm helping you, that one. So what is a gate? This is a gate. Suddenly what's happened, I think this has exposed your 3D imagination, no? This particular chapter. Now that yellow color is what? Cylindrical gate. There's a water. No gate into, it's asking what is the horizontal force on the gate. We'll calculate both horizontal as total force acting on the gate, we'll calculate. It's quite very simple, no? So like, so what is the projected area? This will be. Let L be the length of this, and we know all the dimensions now. So what is the projected area? The projected area will be length L and height 2r. How did it appear? It will appear like a rectangular sheet for the liquid. Sir, how the liquid will exert force? Sir, can you show the force exerted by the liquid? So at this particular point, really very difficult to manage with integration. So therefore we are bringing this logical thing. This is what the force, the length of the arrows should increase as you move down, because the pressure increases with the depth. Okay, let's come for that one. What is the horizontal force? Very easy, no. What is the density of liquid? Rho G, pressure into projected area, dA. So this should be equal to rho Gy L into dy. So rho GL y dy. From where to where? From where to where we should integrate? I think from R to 3R. Limits, okay. But sir, like this is semicircular, so it's like a cylindrical surface. How much it will be? What is the area of cylindrical surface? Anybody? Area of the cylindrical surface? 2 pi RL is the surface area, no? I think I should write projected area pi RL. Will agree? No, the liquid will not see curved surface. It will just see the flat surface. Area, effective area as seen by liquid. I think it's over now. No, let's get into calculation part. This will be y square by 2 R 3R. What is effect is equal to no? Rho GL by 2 I'll take outside. So this will be 3R whole square minus R square. So 4 rho GL R square. Okay, this is horizontal force. What about vertical force? Net force exerted by the liquid. This will be very interesting. How to calculate the net force, net vertical force exerted by the liquid. Again, we'll get into the problem. I will go for the weight of the liquid. The liquid which is present above the gate will exert a force. How it will be vertically down, and the liquid which is present below the gate also will exert a force. Now what shall we do? Shall we go for net resultant force? There's a liquid present. I think this diagram is very important. The liquid which is present here where is exerting a force. Vertically also or horizontally. Horizontal net resultant force we have calculated. Now the liquid present here also will exert force. So the resultant force exerted by the liquid on solid along y-axis should be equal to the density into volume immersed into G. Why to do all calculation everything? Directly the what is y component of force? The y component of force should be equal to density of liquid into volume immersed into. What is volume immersed? Volume of the cylinder. Half of the volume of cylinder. Volume of cylinder. Okay, now what is the volume of cylinder? Pi R square L. How do this Fi? This Fi we have to show it upward. The resultant force Fi should be upward. What about Fx? where you have to show Fx. Fx should be somewhere here. So therefore, the resultant force on the gate will be is somewhere in this direction. What about torque? Torque should be zero, no? Because all the forces are intersecting axis of rotation about O. Torque should be zero. So the resultant force must pass through O. There's the one more condition. I think I delivered the most essential things which are needed. There's projections, all, everything. Fine. So I'll go to the next topic, accelerating fluid. One more is there, we'll discuss later on. Huh? Let me introduce to the acceleration, pressure in accelerating fluids. Pressure in now come for this one. Okay, let me fill up a liquid in a container. There's a liquid is there. I'll place it on horizontal, like on a platform where the platform is going to accelerate. Let's see what are the pressures. So again, in the similar way, here air is present, it will exert a force. See, minutely, please go for diagrams like this. Don't make a guess. Minutely you analyze. Then mg, here the pressure P into A. Pseudo force should act. How the pseudo force? Ma like this. Then for equilibrium, who will see the person on the platform? The person on the platform, what you'll see that you will write the equation Pa minus mg, Pa plus Ma minus mg minus P naught A equal to 0, or P is equal to P naught plus mg minus Ma by A. What is M? Mass of the liquid column. Okay, let this be H. Area of cross section, let it be A. P naught plus M into G minus A by A. What is M? Rho A H G minus A by A. So P naught plus rho H G minus A. Better shall we write effective G there? And this will be very small. Best idea is what I'm starting here. Till now what happened? We were in the only inertial frame. So I am now standing in the non-inertial frame. Sir, what about person on the ground? You will measure same thing. Both the pressures will be same. Yes, both will be same. That one. There you will say that the liquid not at rest, it's accelerating. You'll see the person on the ground. What will come in? The liquid column is accelerating because the net force P will be greater than mg minus P naught A. Therefore, is accelerating. Person standing on the ground. So what will be the is the equation will be Pa minus mg minus P naught A equal to Ma. Nothing big. And you'll calculate pressure which is greater than P naught plus rho GH. Okay, able to get this? There's the effective pressure. No, if the platform accelerates down, what changes will make it? If the platform, if it accelerates down, if it accelerates down, then directly shall I write P naught plus rho H G plus C. Is it correct, or anybody not making observation? I'm seeing nobody's objecting. How pseudo force will act downward? No, nobody is objecting. I was just waiting. Anybody will say that no, sir, it should be that one. Nobody is alert. Huh? Pseudo force, if it is accelerating up, how pseudo force will act? Should be downward, no? So yeah, this should be the acceleration of platform. Nobody is making observation. This is correct. So this what I wrote is for this one. If it platform accelerates down, so here what is the equation you will write it? Its equations will be P naught A minus P naught A plus mg minus PA. This will be the equation. Okay, fine. So if it accelerates down, this will be the equation. If it accelerates up, this should be the equation. Pseudo force, we have to show it. Okay, I get this. Now if it freely falling, if the platform falls freely, then what is A? A will become equal to, then what will be the pressure at all points will be P naught. If platform if the platform falls freely, then A will become equal to J, then P equal to P naught. So what is the pressure at all points will be equal to P naught. Where at bottom, no, everywhere inside the pressure will be P naught here. And I'll just show the, then what is the pressure at all points inside the liquid will be P naught. So this should be the point. You pick up any point, 2, 3, P1, P2, P3 equal to P naught. Here air will be there. What is the pressure at 4 will be P naught. I'll magnify the diagram. Just do make observation. If it falls freely, what will be the pressure at all points? Pressure in the air will be P naught. Pressure at 1, 2, 3. Everywhere it will be equal to P naught only when it falls freely. Everywhere inside the liquid will be that of atmospheric pressure. These are very important conditions. Somewhere in more than one option, they may stress these ideas. Okay, this is about the vertical. We can do better. Let's go for if a container accelerates horizontally. Is it still static liquid? Yes, we are not discussing something liquid is flowing. If the liquid flows, it becomes dynamic. No. Accelerating. So horizontal acceleration will give to the container. Then we'll see what conditions will arise here in this situation. So initially the container is kept on the ground and it is at rest. There's a container vessel. There's a liquid of density rho. It is filled to ITH. There's a ground. No, I'm going to accelerate it. If I accelerate it, what will happen to the liquid column? We are more bothered about what will be the liquid column and how the free surface will align itself. The same container. Again, the same situation, just we are going to accelerate it. What changes we have to make here? Okay, I'm proposing like that. This will be the liquid column will align its orientation in this particular direction, that one. So the free surface will align itself like this, and now it is accelerating. The container is accelerating horizontally. In books, there are around more than 20 numericals are there on this one. Not 1, 2, 20 numericals are there. So it will make an angle theta with horizontal. Why do the free surface and there's a free surface? Let's come for free surface. What is the free surface? Like, it's having a one natural property, that one. It will always align itself such that the tangential force should be 0 on that one, or shearing stress will be 0. Because when I say free surface in equilibrium, what is the free surface? The topmost layer of liquid exposed to air or atmosphere. And it will be of thickness of few molecular range. And what is the nature of it? It will always align itself in such a way that the tangential force should be 0, or the shearing stress on it, on the free surface, will be 0. Now, if you look at this, take a small elemental volume of the fluid. There's the elemental volume. Then what are the forces that is acting? dm into a pseudo force, the weight dmg. Now, what is the property of the liquid? It has to align itself normal to the it should align itself normal to the free surface. No, the net force should be normal to the free surface. So the df net will be in this direction. This is theta. This is theta. 90 minus theta. This will be theta. And look at the free surface. It will align itself perpendicular to the net force. So that what when the forces along the free surface, net force along the free surface should be 0. Let this be theta. Okay, how do it will be 0? Let's check that one. So what is the property of free surface? The net force on free surface along it must be 0. This is one property of it, or it will align itself normal to the net force here. So based on that, the net force on free surface along it must be 0. So dma cos theta minus dmg sin theta equals 0. So therefore a equal to g tan theta. Or what is tan theta? A by g. This is a one thing. Or you can go for the triangle. I prefer to write equation like this rather than in books they have shown like this. This is dmg, this is a dma, this is theta, then tan theta dma by dmg, which is a by g. So what is the orientation of that angle? That angle theta depends upon the acceleration. If acceleration of container becomes equal to g, then theta will be 45 degrees. So how much of the angle made by the free surface with horizontal, that is theta, who will determine that one? Acceleration of ratio of acceleration of container to acceleration due to gravity. Okay, let's come for some very important things. So earlier there's a 0.192. So what is the pressure at 1 rho gh? We'll neglect atmospheric pressure. So this was the point. So shall I call this a front end? And there's a rear end. And let L be the length of the container. L be the length of container. What about pressure at 1? So here the height, it will be h1. This will be h2. So from one observation, I'm making triangle tan theta equal to h2 minus h1 by L. And in fact, this tan theta is what? A by G. So if you know h1, you can calculate the h2. Will I agree this? There's a thing. Okay, next, one more thing. What about the pressure variation? Where the pressure will be more? Pressure at 2 will be more here. So here we'll go for one more. Let me assume a small cylindrical column at the bottom of the container. So there's that 0.1. So what is the property according to Pascal's law? Or so like what is the basic property of the liquid? On which all surfaces it comes in contact, it will exert force normally. So here the pressure force will be P2A. What is small a? Small S will take it. I'm asking you to imagine a cylinder at the bottom where here. So P2S, P1S. Then, so here this particular element will have a mass m, and it is accelerating, no, according to the ground frame. In the ground frame. So what is the equation? The person standing on the ground, you will write P2S minus P1S equal to MA. Why that cylindrical liquid column is moving? Because pressure at 2 is greater than pressure at 1. That's why it is accelerating. The pressure force can accelerate S. I wanted this one. It can accelerate, it can rotate, it can do work, it does positive work, it does negative work. It possesses its own energy. So P2S minus P1S equal to MA. So what is P2 is equal to here? Rho GH2. What is P1? Rho GH1. S. What is M? Mass of the liquid present in the cylinder. Rho SL into A. Is I'm right or wrong? See, what all I'm doing, is it right or wrong is what I'm trying to get that one. So S will get cancelled, rho will get cancelled. So H2 minus H1 into G is equal to what we get it, LA. So H2 minus H1 by L is equal to AG. Same thing, what we brought earlier. From the geometry, this is what we have certain ideas. So we will see that person on the ground will write this equation. Who will write this equation? Person on the ground. Person on the ground, he will write this equation. This is a part of where is the cylinder, sir? I'm not saying cylinder. The cylinder is somewhere here. We are assuming it. A big cylinder from 1 to 2. No. So therefore, shall we have something, the pressure variation? I'll go back to the other very important one. So P2S minus P1S is equal to MA. What is M? Rho SL into A. So P2 minus P1 equal to rho LA. You see one more manometric equation I'm bringing. And this is equal to P2 is equal to P1 plus rho LA. So if a container accelerates, I'll show the complete discussion. If a container accelerates, so what will happen to pressure on horizontal line? It will be different at different points. So whatever pressure at 192 is equal. Now what will happen to pressure at 192? Hard different here. Sir, how do you can say that one? You can look at this pressure at 2. Is it greater than pressure at 1? Yes, it is. So shall we call this like a gauge pressure rho LA? Instead of rho GH, we are getting rho LA. How to write manometric equation? The similar way, like it should be like P1 plus rho LA. So if you move against the acceleration of container, then this gauge pressure should be taken as positive. So what is the writing manometric equation? It should be like this: P1 rho LA minus P2 equals 0. So what is the method of writing manometric equation? Where you begin, pressure at 1 there. Then if you move against the acceleration of container, the gauge pressure should be rho LA. And where you end up should be negative equal to 0. Getting the idea? This is how the pressure varies with the depth and also horizontal. Here the pressure varies only with the depth, whereas here pressure varies with depth as well as the horizontal. And what is the pressure at various points? Let's take the Let me shade that water. We can save time. Yeah, no. Okay. Now look at this. This is accelerating. So let's analyze once the pressure at various points. Okay, this in fact is accelerating. It's accelerating. I'm just interested in the pressure at all points on the free surface. Let's come for this one. Pressure at, already we have took this as 1. This is 2. Let me take, this is 3. This is 4. This is 5. And somewhere here, 6. Pressure at 3, 4, 5 should be P naught only, whether it's accelerating or whatever be that. Pressure at 3, 4, 5 should be P naught, exposed to atmosphere. Pressure at 1, okay, this is pressure at 1, depends upon this side. P1 equal to P naught plus rho GH1. Okay, fine. This pressure at 4 is P naught, no? So therefore pressure at 2 should be equal to P naught plus P4 plus rho GH2. P4 is how much? I'll write one step. Now we are coming for very generalized approach. Let this be H2. It makes an angle theta. Let it be here. Okay, this is about the pressures. What about the pressure at 6? The pressure at 6, here we have a I can write in several ways. Pressure at 6, we can write it as P3 minus rho XA minus P6 equal to 0. Writing manometric equation in accelerating container is what I'm showing it. Fine. So what is the thing? So pressure at P3 plus rho XA minus P6 equal to 0. So what is the pressure at 3 is equal to P naught. So P naught plus rho XA equal to P6. That's the pressure at 6. Or sir, I'll write along y-axis. Okay, right, no problem. That is. Then what is the pressure at 7? P naught. Then P7 plus rho gy minus P6 equal to 0. P7 is P naught. Now question comes, which is right? I have one equation this, I have another equation. What is tan theta? Is I'm right? Let me check it. Tan theta should be A by G. This we know it. Let me equate these two. So XA is equal to GY. So A by G equal to Y by X. So this should be equal to tan theta. Nothing wrong, no? So if a container is at rest, okay, pressure varies only with depth. If the container accelerates, the pressure varies with the depth as well as with the distance from the front end. So this is called like a front end of front side. This is called like a rear side. Okay, got it? I think this is a generalized thing. Okay, now sir, like I'll keep on accelerate it. I'll keep on accelerate. What conditions will come? I'll jump to the next concept.
Sir, can you scroll once up, sir?
Yes, I'll do it. You have this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's take some application. Instead of this, I'll fully fill up a liquid in a container. And let it act that initially it is a test. Initially it is a test. So then let it accelerate. We'll fill up first the no. So it was at rest initially. Now let it accelerate. The dimensions of that. What about the pressure at various points which I'm indicating? Pressure at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fully filled up. Closed tank, no? So what is this? Closed vessel. So what we'll call this as closed vessel. It is not exposed to atmosphere. Completely closed here, like a water tank. What can be the pressure set? Various points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Length is L. This is the depth H. First we'll start with what is the pressure at 1? Pressure at 1 will be 0. Earlier, what is the pressure at 2 and 3? Pressure at 1, 4 are 0. Pressure at 2, 3 is equal to rho GH. These are the initial. So now as it accelerates, so pressure at 1 will be 0. Pressure at 4 should be equal to, so let's write manometric equation. P1 plus rho LA minus P4 is 0. What is P1? P1 is 0. So therefore, what is P4? P4 equal to rho LA. Similarly, pressure at 2 with the depth, it will vary with the depth. P1, pressure varies with the depth, so P1 plus rho GH minus P2 equals 0. P1 is equal to P0, so therefore P2 equal to rho GH. Let's calculate pressure. We know pressure at 4. We'll calculate pressure at 3. P4 plus rho GH minus P3 equal to 0. Manometric equation where you begin positive. If you move inside the liquid vertically down, gauge pressure increases. And where you end up, there'll be negative equal to 0. P4 we know rho LA, rho GH minus P3 equal to 0. This is one thing. Or I'll move like this. Let me move from the front to rear end, front side to rear side, or front end to rear end. So this should be manometric equation P2 plus rho LA minus P3 equal to 0. What is the value of P2? P2 is rho GH. Both are same, no? Okay, got this. So if it is fully filled up, I'm not seeing that angle theta. Will that walls of a container tank, will it permit for it to realign its free surface? Not possible. If it is partially filled, it's possible. I'll scroll down, make notice of this. No, let me go for a situation. Let it be partially filled. Half of the volume I'll fill up. So let me take a cubical container. I'm going to test just now what all you studied. I'm going to test it. Water, this is say vacuum. Initially, it's a closed vessel. It's initially a test. Cubical, closed vessel. I'm going to accelerate it. So let me put acceleration equal to first case. Let acceleration equal to g. Then acceleration equal to. So I'll go for g 2g like that. Will make it changes. What will happen to the free surface I'm interested? It's a cubical. I think it appears cubical. Okay. Acceleration equal to 2g equal to g. If a equal to g, so it is going to, this will be the free surface, no? 45 degrees it should make. Because if a equal to g, what is the angle? Angle, it will make 45 degrees. So here is water. Here is what? That vacuum or empty. The same thing again. This is L, this is L. So what is this angle? Theta 1. Theta 1 should be equal to how much? 45 degrees. Okay, now if I make A equal to 2G, tell me what will happen. It's a closed one, no? So it will not permit the liquid to spill out. It will not permit the water to spill it out. So what should happen? So here, this will take, it all depends upon like a acceleration. I made it equal to 2G, that one. So the free surface will come, the liquid, what happen, will get aligned like this. Now I can ask you pressure in this also. You have to be careful. It will take shape like this. If there were no top surface, the liquid would have spilled. The liquid would have spilled here. So it will come like this here. The free surface will come. And what happened to this part of liquid will spill it out. Now this will be the tan theta. So we are very sure what is tan theta. So with this, we can break up now this into. So this length will be say x2, this length will be x1. So what is that x2, x1 we can determine. So tan theta 2 is equal to x1 by g. Sorry, x1 by L. We know tan theta, theta 2, we know L, we'll get x1. Then after getting x1, how to get the x2? What is the overall volume of liquid, initial volume of liquid? How much it should be? The initial volume V0 should be L cube by 2, no? Half of the volume is filled up. So therefore the volume of liquid will not change. So this should be equal to L square x2 plus L square x1 by 2. I know x1 from this tan theta 2, I'll substitute, I'll get x2. Once you know x2, then you can write any manometric equation if you know x1, x2. Got this? Just simple. Somebody were trying to ask any doubt? Yeah. Tan theta 2 is L by x1. I didn't, in RE I wrote it. Yeah. So container need not be fully filled. It can be partially filled. Then the alignment of the free surface has to take place here. So this is vacuum now. This part is water. Can be asked. No, there's no till now they didn't ask of these things. So can be asked in advance. Mains I think will be very lengthy. So much. I'll scroll down. Okay. Next, if it is a partially filled up. Half it is filled up. And then I'm going to accelerate it. Let's say that it's not a closed container, no? It's not a closed container. Now what changes we are going to bring it now. Let's get into the thing that one. So initially container is at rest. Let it be cubical. It'll be easy for our calculations. L by 2 cubical container. Cubical vessel of side length L. I think you can see from diagram of field here. Now this I'm going to accelerate it. Now the same discussion for acceleration. A1 is equal to, let it be, is equal to G, then acceleration equal to 2G. Now what will happen to the third case? So here liquid will not fill up. Am I right? In the second case, it just touches the rear upper edge. So what is this theta? Theta will be theta 1 will be 45 degrees. No, I'll make it acceleration more than that. So where do the free surface, the same discussion what we had. So you don't draw like this. Huh? I think if you draw like this, I don't know, I'll bang my head with wall. You must have a common sense. That's why, sir, what to do then, sir? How to have common sense? Common sense means like you must have the practical weaving of things. So you can do one thing. You can take some a Bisleri bottle, cut it at the bottom, fill up water. I think how to get cylindrical container. Take Bisleri bottle, fill up, cut it, certain say 5 centimeter or something. Then you fill up off. Then you start running it. Then definitely the water will start spilling out. Okay, how the free surface? No, the free surface will be like this. It all depends upon that acceleration. So acceleration, I put it theta no, so this will be theta 2. So I'm okay. There's a cylindrical container. So this part I'll call x2. This will be L only. And some water got spilled up. So where all water is present here. So where the remaining water gone will spill out. Why it will spill out? Who will make it to spill out? Who will push? The liquid only. This layer open starts pushing out and it starts spilling. So I had to show some water present here. What is this water? It will not form EAP. Actually, it should be on the ground. So this is the spilled out water. So earlier, what was the volume? V0. No V0. What is the volume? Will be V2. Can we calculate how much of spilled out volume of the water? Can we calculate for acceleration A2 how much of water got spilled out? So from first tan theta 2. L by x2, I think I wrote correct. L, and this is also equal to A2 by G, or Lx2 is equal to 2G by G. So what is x2 equal to L by 2? Okay, can we calculate how much of volume of water present inside this? This should be L square x2 by 2 is volume present inside. What is the volume spilled out? Vs, I'll write it. So how to calculate spilled out? Overall volume should be equal to water spilled out plus water inside the tank. Water inside the tank plus water spilled out. So there's an initial volume, initial amount of water. Actually, for this you need no need. These are all something very general observation. So how much of spilled out water? So V0 is equal to V2. V2 is what? L square x2 by 2. What is x2? X2 is L by 2. Substitute that. L by 2. Only this much it will come. Anybody value of this? V0 is L cube by 2. L cube by 4. So how much of spilled out volume should be? L cube by 4. So instead of A2, what will happen? I'll make it 3G by 2. Then in that way you can calculate. So like this, we can calculate the spilled out volume. If I give spilled out volume, what you're going to do? Reverse way, you have some questions in books like in the reverse way. If I give this spilled out volume, I think you're going to substitute here Vs, V0, and this will be L square. So you'll get x2. If you know x2, substitute that x2 here. Okay, got this. And theta 2 will be come to know. So x2 and L, if you know it, you'll get theta. From theta 2, you'll get acceleration. Either way, if they give spilled out volume, you can calculate theta 2. From theta 2, you'll get the acceleration. If they give acceleration from acceleration theta 2, from theta 2, you're going to get x2. And from x2, you're going to get the spilled out volume. Fine. These are the types of numericals what you have in the books here, which you have to work out. They have not asked till data. You check it. You look at the advanced paper. They didn't ask anything about this kind. It's a very general idea. So do focus, take problems of this kind and work out few. So I'm just correlating. I just made a general discussion. If I take numerical, It'll get deviated here and there. You think that only in that numerical the concept is. That's why I made a general discussion. So what is water spilled out? Water V2. Looking at all the symbols. Now, if it is, I think time not there. Okay, we'll go for next one more small. Instead of this container, if there's a U tube is there. So initially I'll fill up a liquid to off of the level. So initially it's at rest. Liquid, you can see that to a level H, that one, rho, that one. So now I'll accelerate it. Now tell me what will happen to the liquid columns. These are called like a limbs. Shall I use word limbs? So what happened to level of liquid in the limbs? It will vary as that of and I'll bring one red color line. It'll be easy for you to refer that. So here is what I'll show the liquid. Now these are very important. Instead of this, the tank, no. So you do have more tricky questions on this, like a U2 with two limbs filled up here. The level of liquid in the first limb will come down, and the level of liquid in the right limb will rise up. So this will be the height, H2. This will be H1, and it will make theta. What about theta? In both the limbs, the free surface will make same angle. Theta only. In both the limbs, it will be theta only. Let this be L. Then what is tan theta? A by G, and is also from the triangle. Overall volume of the liquid should remain same. So from that, what happened? We can bring the ratio between H2 and H1. So one relationship is what? Theta A will be given. From A, we'll get the theta. From theta, there's a one equation, or better say there's a one equation. Other equation, the overall volume should remain same. So what is the initial volume? Let a area of cross section of these limbs be A. So rho HA, 2HA plus AL should be equal to 2H2 should be equal to H2A plus H1A. You can ask questions, but here is the surface. In fact, the area of cross section of limbs will be very small. We should bother that also. So here, how much volume here decreases, that much will increase. That's the basic idea, that one. So rough I'm giving. If this area of cross section, if it is comparable to the level of this H, then you should consider even this part also. Here we have. So I think what I am making assumption is this much of volume of liquid is what missing, that will compensate. So still it is justified. So two equations, two unknowns are there. I'll get H1 and H2. Solving this, we'll get the required answer. You can question this, sir. How come here it is not a flat? You can see it's a inclined. So this much of volume of liquid which is not there is what I'm going to put it here. So this volume of liquid, you can see that I am going to bring it here. Or this volume of liquid, I'll place it here. So therefore, this will become one cylinder. This will become one cylinder. This H1, it's a practice to show this H1 from here, not here. This H2, not from here, we have to measure from here. So actually, if you go for lab, no, in lab, this what the things which we have to manage here. This H1, you should measure from this H. This H2 you should measure from here. Then okay, justified. You should not do this one. This H2 is here, then this H1. So some small error will come. In advance, they may test you. You have to be careful. Look at the pressure. So as if here liquid is present. So it will align itself as if liquid is present. And the angle of inclination, you see the free surface will have same inclination in both the limbs. Same inclination, it will be there. Okay, it's different. So I'll upload today some questions on accelerating fluids. So try to work out. Huh? Okay, no. So we'll end up the class here. Okay, fine. Huh? Okay, bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.